Start. Evening, guys. How's everybody doing? Happy 4th of July for all you out there. As promised, as I said, I would come with another subject Q&A for the main channel. And this time around, it's nothing. It's all about the world of Street Fighter, actually. So, in a sense, guys, I had put out an announcement saying if you can't make it to the live show and ask your questions here, you can leave your questions in the comment of that video, and I'll just answer your questions on the show. But yeah, today is all about the world of Street Fighter. You guys should know that I am a huge Street Fighter fan. I love the world. I love the series. I've been following it since I was a little boy. Remember playing the games, watching the big kids play the machines at like the local corner store when they still had like the the video games in there, and then most of the time, me and my younger cousin, we would sit there and watch them, who was a year younger than me, and we would watch the big kids play them, and then usually it was always one big kid that would always turn around and see us there, and he'd be like, they would say, hey, shorty, you guys want to play? And we'll just say, yeah, and they'll usually it's always the guy. It was always the guy who like maybe owned the store, and he would get like a milk carton or so we could sit on top of it, and then we'd play it. We'd play the games that they were playing. And when we lost, they would pop another quarter in there for us, and we'd play again. So it was always fun to remember those times was fun. Those are the kind of the earliest days of Street Fighter for me. Just remembering playing the game, and remember this is the first one at the time, and at the time, which not a lot of people remember that. Yeah, there was a first one. Everybody just goes right to part 2, which is kind of very popular. That one came out in '91, things like that. But 1987 was when the first game came out. Actually, the official date, I wrote it down just to remember it, August 30th, 1987. And in the game, when 2 players played, that's where you could play with Ken. But when you're playing the game through with 1 player, you play with Ryu. And Ryu in the first game didn't have the brown hair that we know now. It was reddish. It was more reddish and things like that. Like kind of, I would say a strawberry blonde character. And excuse me. And Ryu definitely, the characters in there are some of the characters you fought are some of the characters you would see in the later games. I mean, I think a lot of people think that most of them characters are new. Like Gen, he's not new. He was in the first game. Adam, he was in the first game. Sagat, he made his debut in the first game, but he became playable in the second. Eagle, who we didn't see Eagle. Capcom didn't put Eagle back in the game until they crossed over with SNK. Then there was Lee, and who else? There was a ninja called Geki, Retsu, and there was a boxer. I'm forgetting the boxer's name. And so that was pretty much the characters in that game, and it's kind of funny, kind of cool. Now, gotta show some love and respect also to the people who started the ball for this great series, and not just Capcom, but the designers of the first game. and those designers, and I don't want to butcher their names, but if I do, I apologize. But uh, Nishiyama Takashi, which is his last name is first and his first name is last. I'm going Japanese wise in a sense, and Matsumoto Hiroyoshi. They were the first designers of the first game, so I give none but love and respect to them for creating the franchise that is now today, and what I love about it. Like I said, to me, I think literally I would say if there was a Mount Rushmore of fighting games, Street Fighter, a character from Street Fighter would be up there. Probably, I would probably be Ryu. His face would be up there representing Street Fighter because Street Fighter is one of the kings of fighters. But you know, it is it is one of the most influential fighting games. Almost every other fighting game that came out after that game will literally say they took influences from from this series, and you can see it. You can literally see it. I mean, there are characters that are pretty much, in a sense, imaged after a certain character. For example, a lot of Ryu, but you definitely see. Okay, let's take Sega's big fighter, Virtual Fighter. Great series too. Love the series. Akira is just Ryu, just a little bit more aggressive, and uh, Pan is kind of like Chun-Li in a sense. There are a lot of influences, and even even SNK's character Ryo from Art of Fighting, who pretty much is a parody of them, but he's a serious parody, and Capcom took that real serious, and they're like, okay, so you want to copy us? Okay, so we're gonna make a parody of him, and that's where we got Dan from. Yeah, who became a joke of a character, and say what you want about. I mean, I don't hate Dan. I don't hate him. I just think, yeah, like when he first showed up in Alpha, I saw this guy. I looked at this guy. I was like, yo, this dude look badass. Like he got the serious look, and I'm like, okay, there must be another practitioner that that was trained was under Ken and Ryu. Master Goken must have trained someone else after Ken and Ryu. So I'm watching, and I play with the guy, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, his fireball goes not even halfway, and I was just like, okay, this guy's a joke. And it got even worse. By the time Alpha finished, when they finished the Alpha, and then they integrated Dan into the series, into the original series, the main core series, he became a joke. It was like, I mean, if you look at his supers, they're basically like he hits somebody on a mishap, like he trips and falls, and it's like, or there was one time I remember there was one where, is it him? I think no. See, I'm thinking of Mr. Satin, but it's just it's like, here I go again. And I'm just like, okay, this is stupid, and it's just like he claims that he's stronger than Ryu and Ken and all those guys, and I just laugh at him like, okay, big ego. He claims to be training Sakura, and we all know Sakura is better than him at the young age she's at, and he's good friends with Blanca, which is that just scratches my head right there. But the Street Fighter series to me has always been a great series. Though I will, as much as I am a fan, I will literally say this, guys. Yes. Capcom definitely does milk the series, kind of, in terms of they can't let go of one and then to move on to the sequel. And it's not, and I think a lot of people think that it just started with 4. It started with 2. It started with 2. It started with 2. When 2 came out, 91, then they went Championship Edition, and then all these other editions, and then Super Street Fighter 2, which added 4 more characters. With we got Fei Long, who is homage to the great Bruce Lee, the first Jamaican fighter for the Street Fighter, DJ, with his Kool-Aid smile. And trust me, in the Street Fighter games now, that smile is very creepy and comes off almost like a pedophile. It's creepy. We got, in my opinion, the princess of Street Fighter, Cammy White. I'll say Chun-Li is the queen, Cammy's the princess. And then you got the big Native American T-Hawk. Good scene. So yeah, and then of course, and then later on, then they did Turbo, which introduced Goki or Akuma to the game, and that was the only Street Fighter game that came out for the late console 3DO. Back in the 90s, guys, you got to remember, back in the 90s, there were a lot of consoles, and if you hear a lot of, that's people shooting on fireworks, guys. It's not gunfire, okay? So just making that sure. So yeah, we saw that, and it was. And that was also, and Turbo was the first time we actually was introduced to I believe, the super arts, the super combos. And yeah, there was another one, Hyper, yeah. But that's where it really started. And then they did it with 3, and now 4 has it. So I don't think that, Street Fighter, is. I do think that sometimes they do milk it and they don't move on to the next sequel. Okay. So it's fine. But as you see, guys, it says Street Fighter Q&A discussion. I'm gonna talk, but I'm also gonna answer the questions that some of you have given us. An arm shot. No, I'm just messing with you guys. I'm going to answer your questions that were given to me. But if you guys are watching and you have Street Fighter related questions, you can leave it in the comment and I'll answer. So I'm going to go from the latest questions that came first. How if you look on the announcement vid, they date the questions 3 days ago, 2 days ago. So I'm gonna go latest to newest. Okay, so if you don't mind, here we go. Latest. I'm gonna go. No, I'm gonna go oldest to recent. So the first questions, believe it or not, comes from Rock Howard, and this is not the first time I have fictional characters watch my stuff. So this is pretty funny. Rock Howard, we all should know Rock Howard. He is the son of Geese Howard. I know you don't like your dad very much, Rock, so I'll be a little bit respectful, okay? So he says to me, "How are you?" I'm fine. I'm fine. How would you like to see me fight Ryu? Well, once again, Mr. Howard, I'm gonna be really I'm gonna be pretty honest. If you he gets his ass kicked. No. If you fought Ryu, it would be interesting to see what Ryu would think about you. I think more Ryu would definitely want to face one of your mentors, Terry Bogard. I definitely know Ryu would definitely want to connect with him. But I'm not discrediting your skills, Rock. It's just that you haven't trained as long as Ryu has. You know, there's more experience with Ryu than uh, with you, Rock. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but not saying Ryu will wipe the floor with you, but in the end, Ryu would win. He would come out the victor. It'd be really cool, and if you guys don't mind me eating, I'm gonna be eat on cameras, eating 4th of July food. So don't mind me. If I go down, that means I either chomped on a burger or my Nathan's hot dog. So chill with that.
Yeah, you don't want to choke on the dog.
Yeah, I'm not choking on camera. So yeah, Rock. I'm saying you'd be a good fight. It'd be really cool to see you go against Ryu, but I think Ryu would, I wouldn't say kick his ass, but I'm saying he would win, and too much experience, and Ryu would literally walk up to you, show his respect as he always does, and just say, when you're strong enough again, come and find me, as he always does. Ryu is never disrespectful. He's always more encouraging than disrespectful, and that is one reason why he is one of my favorite Street Fighter characters. And if somebody asks me that question, there you go.
But then when he used to winning.
Yeah. The poses I don't get. I've never gotten the poses, but let me see. Your next question, Rock, is what was the first character you played with? Well, it was Ryu. Like I said, the first Street Fighter game you can only play with Ryu. That was the first game first character I played with. Now, so yeah, it was Ryu. But later on, of course, when I would play, if I had to be the second player, then I could play with Ken. So I was like, okay, that was cool. But the one thing I also am glad about that Street Fighter has done, especially with Ken and Ryu, because they were so much alike in the first couple of games. I mean, if you would skip, like, go back and forth between the characters, there was really no difference between them from their hair to their gi color and things like that. They had the same stance, up and down, up and down. So when we started to see that there was different similarities, differences in terms of Ryu always had the traditional up and down, while Ken, he started to sway the boxing into it. When fluent, he was a little bit more fluent, and while Ryu, in a sense, Ryu's Dragon Punch was more stronger, Ken's did more damage because it had like the more combos. Same thing with Ryu's Hurricane Kick, knock you one time, you go flying. With Ken, it was more wop, 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 wop. It was a combo. Looked more cooler. Ryu, I would say, out of Ryu and Ken, he's a master of the fireballs. He's the master of the fireball. So Ryu has the fireball, while Ken is more of the Shoryuken, things like that. So, I'm glad to see that Capcom has put a difference in those two now. Instead of keeping them almost like they were brothers, because that's what I thought they were. Well, they were brothers. But then I was like, okay, wait a minute. One's American, one's Japanese. But then, once again, doing my knowledge and research more into Ken is half Japanese. He's not. He's half American, half Japanese. His mother was Japanese. So it's kind of cool like that. But I love the Ken and Ryu relationship. Their brotherhood, their bond, their rivalry is cool. But it's not a rivalry to the point where like I want to kill you. It's a friendly rivalry. It's like they know each gonna get better, and they're always like, if one's here, like let's say Ryu's on the West Coast, Ken's on the East Coast, and they're always thinking like, okay, I wonder what he's doing. They always push each other, and they've been doing that for the past 10 years. They trained together for the past 10 years. They are brothers from another mother. They truly are, and that's why they are the main characters in the Street Fighter universe. And no matter what you want to say about that, they have one hell of a supporting cast. Believe it or not, definitely. Okay. Like I said, guys, don't mind me. Mom, can you pass me some? Thanks. So, Rock, you move on to your next question. Oops, excuse me. Move on to your next question. Do you like every Street Fighter game? No, I don't. I'm gonna make that perfectly clear. I don't like every Street Fighter game. Rock, I don't. Um, I could be a fan, but yeah, there's certain games you don't like. I'm a Mortal Kombat fan, but I don't like Mortal Kombat 4. You know, so yeah, you know, the Street Fighter games I don't like are the EX series. To me, I never was a big, just a little more. I never been a big fan of. Thanks, that's good. I never been a big fan of the EX series. To me, I don't necessarily think Street Fighter it needs to be 3D polygon, fully polygon like a Tekken game. It works better as a 2D or a 2D blend like they do now. I know there's some people that still feel that it's still hard for them to get into, but I like it, and but I don't like the EX series. I never liked it. I'm sorry. If anybody else liked it, more power to you. But for me, those are the Street Fighter games I did not like. Did I like Gem Fighters or Pocket Fighters? I thought that was fine. I know it was supposed to be, but it wasn't really like a full, you know. So it is what it is. So, Rock, your last question that you left me on the announcement vid, you only had 4, was, what did you think of the Street Fighter USA cartoon? Oh, you're talking about the cartoon that used to come on the USA Network. Oh God, that cartoon is so crap. I could not. To me, you don't try to turn Street Fighter into G.I. Joe. You don't do that. That's what that was. They were a unit led by Guile called Street Fighter. And they fought Bison and things like that. So, of course, you know, it's a USA cartoon. They're going to make Guile the main character. I don't hate Guile. I like Guile. I like old Brushhead. He's cool. But I didn't like the way they portrayed Ryu, Ken. Chun-Li was more of a Chun-Li was so much of an aggressive character that didn't suit her, and Blanca came off as being Beast from X-Men. It was like so. I'm like, am I watching Blanca or am I watching Beast? Because he was like, I can't stand this Chun-Li. I look like a monster. I'm a monster, and I'm like, yo, what is this? DJ had the worst Jamaican accent I ever heard in my life, and I've heard some pretty bad Jamaican accents but this one had to be the worst. It was almost like he sounded like he was from West Africa and the Caribbean. So it really like it wasn't like an equal mass of the accent. It was just like an abundance of garbage. And they tried to put in like they tried to add all this other influences like you know they tried to bring in like Japanese influenced artists to come on, and that just made it even worse. The series came on when here in New York I remember it used to come on USA Sunday mornings on the USA Network. When the USA Network used to have cartoons, it was called the Cartoon Express, I believe, and it was that cartoon, and then it had the Mortal Kombat Earth's Defenders, which was not even any good either. Yeah, I did not like that series at all, Rock. Um, if I can go back in time, I would literally tell my younger self, don't watch this stuff. Just wait. I would like, you know what? Sooner or later, Mom, because my mother took me and bought me the animated, the Street Fighter 2 animated movie. She bought it for me, and I was like, Mom, just wait a few more days, another year, and Mom is gonna buy you something a Street Fighter that you're really gonna like. And I did. I love the Street Fighter 2 animated movie. I still have it. It's up on my bookcase up here. I still have it. VHS. It's hard to track that thing down DVD wise. It's hard. I've been trying to track that down for a long time. But yeah, I still have it. I have the uncut version. They had the PG version and the uncut version. I got the uncut version. You know. So yeah, that's a good. It did not like. But thank you for the questions, Rock Howard. Thank you for. And matter of fact, yeah, let me just say this. I don't like your dad. He's a bastard. Your dad's a dick. He deserved to die. And you're a far better man than he ever will be. Okay, Terry trained you well. So then there's more questions. So moving on to the next person that left me questions on the announcement vid is Millennium Joker, a good follower of mine, a friend of mine. Always good to hear from Millennium Joker. And he says, basically, I don't know if I have to work, but yet I better safe than sorry. Like I said, if you can't make it, just leave your questions. And he says, I've been shot again. No, I'm just messing. He says to me, first question, which character do you think is undervalued by fans? Ooh, good question. I would go with somebody who's kind of undervalued. I would have to say maybe. Who was you gonna say, Mama? Oh, I thought you was gonna say something. No way. Kuma's no way. I would have to say Millennium Makoto. Makoto, I think she's very undervalued. She has a really interesting move set because it's really that hardcore karate style. And and at first, when I first saw her, gotta remember, she first appeared in Street Fighter 3, Third Strike, and I thought she was a boy. So they kind of, and I even thought that was Shun, Ryu's brother from the Alpha animated movie. And I loved her music. And speaking of music, I forgot to hit the music. I said I was going to put some music on. But I thought she was I thought she definitely was a boy, and it's kind of cool because that's how we all thought of. Remember the SNK character King. That's a woman, but people, you don't see the boobs and you're like, yeah, that's a boy. But when I fought her and I knocked her up in the air and her gi opened up, I was like, oh, I saw the boobs. Okay, she's a girl. But she's very undervalued in my opinion. There's others. but Makoto comes right to my head. She has a very strong style, and I like her strong style. And it's just I mean, her super arts are really interesting. One of them, one of the super arts, she just turns red, hot red. Her face gets really red, so it's like she's charged up, and she can just all her attacks become stronger. Like her vigor gets really strong. Her fighting spirit. So it's really cool, but I think she's one of them. She's definitely one of those characters that's undervalued. Your next question is, which character has become overrated because of the fans? Oh boy, I would say probably Akuma. Akuma, definitely. Even though he's
Let's get one thing straight.
yeah. Let me
Overrated.
yeah.
That's such a negative connotation.
Oh, let me get a chance.
That's such a negative connotation. Yeah. Because you say somebody's overrated does not mean that person's bad.
Yeah, it's not, and I'm not, and I'm banking Millennium don't mean it like that, but I can see where a lot of people say like Akuma is this, Akuma that, like, but yeah, you know, I like Akuma, I like him, and I think he is a very interesting character, being that of course he is the brother of Master Goken, you know, and we thought that he killed his brother, but Master Goken lived, and you know, we know he can go to another form, only Akuma, and you know, so I would say he's kind of there. The fans do push him to the point where he's like, oh, he's unstoppable. He can't be beat by anybody. You know, I'm like, that's not true. Like, no. You know, somebody probably right here and probably say Ryu's up there too. I've never said that Ryu can't be beaten by anybody. Never. No way. I never said that. But it is what it is. What else you have for me, Millennium? Your third question. What do you think of the character Q? I'm shot again. Okay. Like I said, guys, if you hear the fireworks outside, you see, you hear that? I'm shot again. I'm shot. Anyway. Anyway, Q is a very interesting character. Q is another one of those characters that appeared in Street Fighter 3. Q, believe it or not, for all those who don't know, he's the guy with the iron mask, the trench coat, the fedora, and he kind of stands like this, like this, and he seems very heavy because when he comes down, it's boom. He's an interesting character, Millennium. I saw that and I was like, okay, that's new, that's different. And then I started to think, I'm like, this guy, whoever designed this guy got influences from something, and I was right because you could tell, and I was right because he's highly clearly influenced by Shitaro Ishimori's character, Robot Detective K. There is another anime character from Babylon, Babel, and you can see a little bit of the Invisible Man from H.G. Wells' character, Invisible Man, in there. You know, but and you know, Iron Mask and things like that. But he's a cool character. Very interesting indeed, and I don't hate him. I think he's just different, something different to the Street Fighter world. And I hope somebody asks me questions about Street Fighter 3 because I really want to get into Street Fighter 3 at some people. Because I'm definitely if there's questions on the vid, I'm gonna try to go from questions that were left to me on the announcement vid, and I'm gonna go to the questions here. So let me finish up Millenniums, and then I'll go to questions on the channel just in case if there is any. But first, My cranberry juice is ready. Sorry, I'm my game on my phone, guys. Uh, Cafe World. So it's like okay, I like the game. All right, all right. Let's see. Don't mind my cousin, guys. That's my cousin in the back. Um, let's see. Okay, your next question, Millennium, is if Street Fighter was to get a 24 episode anime next year, what characters would you like to see in it, and what type of story would you like to see tell? Actually, if anything, if they were to get a Street Fighter, another Street Fighter series, I would want the series. I would want the characters in it, but I would really want it to be told through the eyes of Sakura, through her eyes, of her seeing the Street Fighter world and all the characters in it. If not, if not Sakura, then Chung Li. Um, those are the characters I would like. Maybe uh, Street Fighter, maybe a better Chung Li tale than what we got with that crappy movie. Something like that. That'd be kind of cool. So yeah, definitely that. I would want to be told but from the eyes of one of the female characters, or maybe even just the female Street Fighter characters. Period. That would, yeah, like a Gotham siren kind of, like the Street Fighter sirens or something like that. I'm just making, Um, let's see, what else? Next question. Is this your last question? No, you got. Okay, you say if in the next Street Fighter game they put in a shop to buy skins for characters like a Santa Rufus skin and a Wall Street Ken skin and an Officer Chung Li skin, name it, just to name a few. Um, would you be for or against it? I would be for it. I would love to see, like, how about like we see a skin for, Ken. He's just in his street clothes, instead of always in his gi, something like that. I would like to see him in like a red shirt and jeans and some sneaks, on, something like that, and he's just like, yeah, something like Terry Bogard or somebody like that. That'd be kind of cool. Um, uh, I would definitely want a different outfit for Sakura instead of her always in her school clothes. I would want her in like a real, like, well, she's like, oh well, I'm getting too old for this now, so like she maybe gives a homage to Ryu, maybe with some half gi, like the pants are like gi pants, and the top is like maybe a homage to something like let me see.
From Capcom. I don't know if she's related to
Asuka.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
Asuka.
her.
Yeah, some like homage to like Asuka's like
She got that short jacket.
like a short jacket. Yeah, and the shorts. Yeah, I would mind that either. But definitely I definitely can see that very much. Let's see. Your last question. What company do you think would be a good new home for Street Fighter series, for the Street Fighters, if Capcom ends up like Midway because of their financial issues? Uh, I yeah, they're right. I can't really answer that one. Um, about the whole Capcom. They may be in a little bit of financial issues, but I doubt the Cap. Capcom will always have Street Fighter, so whoever buys the shares, it'll still be there. So I can't really answer that one. I apologize. But thanks for the questions, Millennium. Yeah, I need a muffin. Okay. Let me see. Um. Let's see. Like I said, guys, don't mind me eating on camera. If I make you hungry, I apologize. But I'm hungry, so I don't. Let's see. Who's here? Let's see. I'm still trying to see him. I see the Spawn is here. Hey Spawn. Oh, Omnitron is here. Hey Omnitron. How you guys doing? Happy 4th of July to you guys. Okay. All right. Okay. One question that the Spawn has. Before I go back to the questions that were sent to me on the announcement vid. You said, what's your favorite attack from any character of Street Fighter? Oh, that's kind of easy. There's so many, but if I was to just name one, I love Ken's Super Simpu. It's literally a fiery kick now that, like, he spins in midair with his kicking. Then he goes up. Then he does the Shoryuken. I'm like, oh, that is so cool. Then there's another one where he literally just kicks you, and then he just lays it into you with the kicks. And then he goes to the Shoryuken. Then of course there's all the different fireballs that Ryu can do. And then of course is the Super Shoryuken, where that just looks awfully painful. The Mets Shoryuken, where he literally hits you once, bam, and you just hits you again, and you go up in the air, and then you come down with the same kind of force that he hit you with. So it's
force sounded more impactful when it first came.
Yeah, when it first came in Street Fighter 3, it was bam, 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 and then you go up, and then crash, and it's like, oh my god. Cammy's super arts are just freaking, well, attacks. I love her spiral smasher, things like that, but her super art is just killer. Like she literally breaks your neck. She literally breaks your neck, and that's just like, oh. Got fired. Got fired. Thanks to Famous. No, I'm just saying. No, that's what they play it off as. Um. All right. All right. Let me go back to the questions that are that were given on the announcement vid. All right. Like I said, going oldest to recent. So let me see. Any more oldest? All right. Yeah. Here we go. I saw it. Uh, Perry King asks me. Perry King asks me. What is your favorite character from Street Fighter? Yes, there you go. Ryu. Like I said, he's definitely my number one. I love Ryu. Everything that Ryu stands for, you can use in your everyday life. He is, and I love characters like that are that are very relatable or very inspirational. And Ryu has that. The way he carries himself, the way he looks at life, the way he approaches life, or even fighting. Like he's never full of himself. He never shows like I'm arrogant. He always encourages people. You know, uh, and it's kind of funny because a lot of the other Street Fighter characters are saying he has inspired them. One character in particular, Cammy, says it. She says, "You have inspired me, Ryu." And yeah, and that's the thing. That's what makes it even great. It's like he doesn't even consider it. So some of us, we would probably say, "Man, Ryu is a master." To him, he doesn't see it that way. He's like, "I'm still training myself. I probably would never take on, a disciple and train them." Anytime he sees, he Sakura, she's just she's a fan who literally just saw Ryu and she fell for the guy and she's like, I want to do that now. And for someone who's never trained with Master Goken, she does the fireball pretty damn well. So, but Ryu is my favorite character. I I love what he stands for. I love the way he carries himself. Sometimes, in his eyes, sometimes talking is not the true, like, that's cool, but to really connect with somebody, especially in the Street Fighter world, to really connect, to really understand that person is to lock fists with that person. Not meaning to kill the person, but yeah, sometimes communicating through it's test the character as well as communication. So it is cool. I like that. You say, Perry King, if Ed Boon was given permission by Capcom to have Street Fighter crossover with Mortal Kombat, how do you think they'll put it off? I've been very open about, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, a game. I don't think they mix well. I've always been. I don't see a reason why they would come together. I don't see. I don't see I just don't see the. It's almost like it's a mixture that don't work. It's like it's like it's like chocolate and mayonnaise. You mix that together, you're gonna get something nasty. And I don't mean it that way, but it's just that it's gonna be you're not gonna really enjoy it. To me, Street Fighter is not in that category of being that dark like Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is really dark, and it works for them. You know, but
I don't see that vitamin can.
and then yeah, that's the other one.
I more saw Street Fighter with SNK.
And that's why.
Same thing goes for Tekken. Even though they did with Street Fighter, I more saw Tekken either going with Dead or Alive or Virtual Fighter.
So
being okay.
I mean, there are things that some of us fans want, and I can understand it. And I'm not discrediting anybody who wants that to happen, but let's be realistic. Not going to happen. It never will. And it just would not look right either.
It might be one of those cases if it was to happen. If it was to happen, it might. In order for it to happen, one might stay the same while our one gets watered down.
Watered down, or yeah, and that's the thing. Also, a Street Fighter Mortal Kombat game would probably be almost similar to DC Universe versus Mortal Kombat, where, because let's face it, I can't see Ryu killing anybody.
So it's the see, like I'm saying,
and then
the case of where
the characters are.
It's the case of where if it's more catered towards Street Fighter, you're not gonna get the fatality.
Yeah.
And if it's more catered towards Mortal Kombat, yeah, you're gonna be having Ryu and Ken and characters that who you would think are above killing, and now they basically become killers because it's a necessity for a Mortal Kombat game to have a fatality. So they're going to have fatalities of their own. And see, that was it. You're gonna make one genre, franchise be what they're not.
Yeah. Even though Ryu and Ken, their fighting art, their style is actually, the fighting style is based off of that Assassin's Fist. That's actually what their fighting style is, but still, I can't see that, and you know, I just don't see it. It's just a mixture. I just can't see. I never have.
You know, to be quite honest, sometimes you know, gotta accept that just because two games or whatever are popular, that does not mean that they have to cross. Case in point, I'll use that example. Halo and Call of Duty are popular. That does not mean they have to cross over in any way, shape, or form. That does not mean they have to cross over. But I can understand people maybe have an idea of, oh man, imagine them crossing over. So I don't know about that.
What?
If you had regular Call of Duty server against the Spartans, I'm not so sure COD would be the Spartans.
So, what do you think of what would be your thoughts on a Street Fighter versus DC Universe crossover game? Once again, that's another one I just can't see. Because you got unless you take out all the super-powered characters and just add all the non-powered characters, then it's not going to be a good blend. It's just, they're just some blends that don't work. It really don't. But
again, it could be done because you have to go against Marvel superhero power.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The thing is that even when it was Marvel's Capcom, let's face it, let's say you know you're more of the Marvel side, because it's the serpent. You gotta really be willing to suspend your disbelief.
That's the other thing.
You're gonna be like, because I bet even people during Marvel's Capcom, those days, you know, they did more for Marvel's Capcom. I bet you somebody, how in the hell is Ryu attacked really harming someone like of the likes of the Hulk? How is that?
Yeah, it's like
how is that happening?
but I really don't see I can't see it. I don't see Warner Brothers, going to Capcom and like, hey, we want to make a game. I don't see it.
They wouldn't put the more martial artists.
Yeah. Like, so, but unless Capcom to do it, and they'd be like, we want a lot of your martial arts characters. So, yeah, we want Black Canary, we want Nightwing, and Batman and the Robins and Batgirl and I said Black Canary, Huntress, Lady Shiva, Richard Dragon, people like that. But you're not gonna get that kind of stuff. Sorry about that. Let's see. Perry King, your next question is: which Street Fighter character do you think is underrated? Undervalued. I just said it. There's a couple, plenty of them, but
I believe that to be quite honest, and I think they're kind of short and simple. I think Street Fighter 3 is kind of filled with.
Okay, that's a good example right there. Any character, Perry from Street Fighter 3, very underrated. There's my answer. Kinda. Well. All right. So let me go back to the next. Let's see what else we got. What's going on? Let's see. Alrighty then. Let me go back to the questions. Damn it, I can't see it. Hold on. Okay, let me see. Damon King says, "Sup, Chris? How's everything going?" I'm good. Fun question. You know what's Ryu's favorite food? Sushi. That's his favorite food. Sushi. Spawn. Can Yang from R be a good character in Street? I don't know. Those characters, once again, they're powerful. Maybe from R Yang. Maybe. I'm not saying it couldn't be. Black Doggy Claw. Yo, Chris, what's up? Why does Ryu get the fame but Ken gets the short end? I've never heard that before. Every time
a name what he means is Ryu always gets top billing.
I never. It's always Ryu and Ken. I've heard both ways. Ryu and Ken and Ryu. I don't look at it like that. I look at it. Those are the.
I think Ryu is essentially the focus.
I do think mostly it is kind of centered around his eyes.
I don't think he's a spotlight stealer.
Yeah, he's not a spotlight stealer. It's just people are attracted to his character. Why he's that's the reason you try to understand why is he doing this? Like, why is he more like Ken? Ken is, he's a family man now. He's not as arrogant as he used to be. So yeah. But I don't look at it like that. And if anybody else does, that's cool. I don't hate you for it. I'm not mad at you about it. Let me see. Omnitron, you asked me if Rock Lee from Naruto found his way into the Street Fighter universe, how would you think he'd stock up to everybody else? I mean, he would stock up well, and I think stock up a little bit above everybody. You know, maybe Akuma would be probably his Master Goken, Akuma, people like that would probably be his biggest test. You know, I don't see Bison. I think he would walk the floor with Bison. Fuck Seth, because I hate Seth. Screw Gil, because I hate Gil too. What? Yeah, man, God.
Well, I know her why, but the ball.
Yeah, but I think with Ryu, he would actually find maybe somebody interesting in too, because he would sense that Ryu's holding back more than he does. So I think he would really look at Ken and Ryu a lot. Like, they're kind of interesting. Like, and Chung Li, I think, would be up there because Fei Long, he would look at Fei Long like, hey, he looked like me. Or like, hey, you know, that'd be kind of interesting. No. Maybe Ibuki would be kind of. I think he'd try to date. So definitely. I definitely think those are some of the. So I think definitely those would be some interesting characters. All right, so going back to the questions that were left on the topic video, on the announcement. Like I said, guys, I got Okay, Mr. Emerald 123. Your first question. Who is your least favorite Street Fighter character? Who? For me, it's Balrog is yours. For me, it's.
I know. I baby know. For you, it's the last two bosses for 3 of them.
Yeah, you want to go? Yeah, it's Seth. Fucking hate Seth. Gil. Fucking hate Gil too. I thought they, you know, what makes it worse for me. And let me tell you why. Yeah. Yeah. Let me make it even clearer. I hate those characters because Seth is he's a Street Fighter. He's in Street Fighter, but I hate characters that don't have their own moveset. And they're bosses. They have everybody's moveset. I hate that. I hate when characters, they have no kind of move of their own. They're just a copy of everybody. Hence why Seth reminds me of Cell. I fucking hate Cell. I hate that character. I hate him. And I know hate's a strong word, but I do. I fucking hate those characters. And when I first saw Seth, I'm like, okay, the dude's got a yin and yang symbol in his stomach. And he sucks you into that thing and he spins you up. And that just is so comedic because when you come out of it, you get face planted on the camera in a sense. And if you only got a little bit of it, it's even worse. Seth is a garbage character to me, and I feel that for a final boss, he is a slap in the face to characters of past final bosses, like Bison was and Akuma was. They to me are still hold the title of, yeah, in a sense, Bison has kind of been demoted to now like the secondary villain, while Seth is that big boss now. Fuck out of here, man. I look at that and I'm like, give me a break. Then you got Gil, who I look at is the cheesiest. At least Gil has his own techniques.
And we hit 2 at combat.
But Gil, to me, is the cheesiest final boss ever. He's one of them. Every hit, 2 hits. I'm like, are you kidding me? His final attack, one of his final arcs, super. He can come back to life, resurrect. I'm like, get the hell out of here. His brother is better than him, in my opinion. Urine, which is so funny. But I hate both of those characters. I hate them. I hate them both. Yeah, those are my least favorite. What are your thoughts on DiCaprio from Ultimate Street Fighter 4? I looked at that character and I was like, okay, is she a clone of she one of the killer bees, the other killer bees of Cammy, clone of Cammy? I'm like, okay, if she is, all right, but I don't really mind too much of her. The third question: if you were to in charge of Street Fighter, which characters would you put in Street Fighter 5? I try to put every Street Fighter character that has been. I would make Street Fighter 5 the biggest roster ever. So that means every character. Oh boy, look at this idiot. Every character, every character, every character in if Street Fighter 5, if I was in charge of Street Fighter 5, every character that was in Street Fighter would be in that game. Assault. No, who you talking about? Oh, why he was out? Yeah, he drugs. Yeah. Not my son. Yeah, he in jail. Yeah. I think he out. So last time I heard, Tommy Jr. said he out of jail. Last time I checked, and he said, he got his own wrestling promotion. So yeah, if I was in charge of Street Fighter 5, every character from Street Fighter 2, 3, and now would be in there, and I would probably add maybe a couple new characters in there, because to me, I want Alex back. He was one of my favorite characters from Street Fighter 3. Oh, I've been shot again. He was my favorite character. I loved out of the new generation. He was my favorite. He definitely was my favorite. I loved. He was a combination of speed and strength. And hey, I can't give. And sure, he was homage to Hulk Hogan. He literally was. And I'm not joking about that. I mean, he even like, okay, you want even more proof? If you have Hugo and Alex in Street Fighter 3, they have that iconic standoff like Hogan and Andre the Giant from WrestleMania 3. And then Hugo will bump him with his stomach like to push him back. But yeah, I loved Alex. I loved him. And yeah, of course, he's representing New York, so but he was cool. Great character. I loved him. You know, at ease, loser. You know, I loved him. And what was his biggest goal? To fight the man with the red bandana. Now, if that is what people are talking about, I can kind of agree with that. That, yeah, you know, everybody wants to face Ryu. Nobody wants to face Ken. Okay, maybe that where I can agree on. But there is somebody who now they got Rufus, fat Rufus now, like that's like Ken, like big like psycho rival. Like it comes off kind of comical, but it also comes off like, okay, he has a beef with Ken for some damn reason. You know, it's not really a showcase. It's just that he thinks Ken stole like his techniques and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, get out of here. And I love the way he mistaken Bob for Ken. Yeah. He's like, oh, it's you, Ken Masters. Now you're trying to steal me trying to get fat like me. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. But it's funny. It's a but yeah, if I was in charge of Street Fighter 5, if I was in Street Fighter, if I was in Street Fighter, if I was doing Street Fighter 5 Emerald, yeah, every character from the past to now would be in that game. Because there are characters in there that we haven't seen. Like I said, Eagle. When's the last time we saw Eagle? Eagle in a Street Fighter game. Last time we saw him was in Capcom versus SNK 2. That was it. We never saw him again. Alex. The last time we saw Alex in a fighting game was in Capcom versus Tatsunoko. So yeah, you know, it's like, yo, I would like to see some of those characters come back. Favorite Street Fighter stage. Ooh, good question.
I bet you that comes down to scores.
It does. That's exactly what it. It's not just the background. It's more the score, Emerald. To me, the score that you hear now, Adin. I love Adin's score. So that plays a lot. Akuma, he always has these epic themes. Especially in 3. I love that theme. Ryu, Ken, Makoto, I love that theme. Ellen from Africa, who does the capoeira, I love her. The beats, you know, that's it. Go beats. Yeah, Cody. Alpha. Cody's had some. Yeah, and I'm gonna get on Cody too. So don't even worry about it. I mean, but Cody, from when he first came in Alpha, I love this theme there, and then I love the theme he has in Street Fighter 4. That 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that boom 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 boom. It's like that really like epic, like you get ready to go in a battle. I like that theme. So. And Jorai, she has a very good theme too. Who I love Jorai.
But Jorai doesn't have a stage.
Yes, she does. She had a stage theme.
No, but we're talking about stage.
Okay. Well,
like, you know, that's like in because 4, nobody really had a distinctive stage now, but after 3, nobody had a real stage.
Yeah.
Except for somebody like Sad.
Mr. Emery said, which Street Fighter character would you love to spar with? Oh, there's a couple. He getting shot. One, Fei Long, because it'll probably be the closest I get to sparring with Bruce Lee. Ken and Ryu, definitely. Dan, just so I can kick his ass. just to beat up Dan. Like, or just be like, I want to know how good is this guy.
You make it seem as though you actually set him up by pretending that you're not that good.
Yeah, I'm not that good. And I'm gonna start. Yeah, Dan, I'm gonna play with him. Like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna show you. Well, go easy on me, Mr. M.V.K. I'm not that good. No problem. And then I just start, and then to me, I would try to push Dan to showcase, you're good, man. Stop being a fool. Stop acting dumb. Because it was the funniest thing, and I think I know where you're going at. Funniest thing is, while Ryu gave Sagat the scar on his chest, well, you weren't going there? Okay, well, you know who gave Sagat the eye? Made Sagat lost his eye? Dan's dad. So
thing is, Dan, he really was dedicated.
He would be good.
I was gonna say he could be like
Ken and Ryu.
I wasn't going to say, but with his attitude, with his charisma, his mere charisma, he could be almost like Johnny Cage. Yeah, Johnny Cage is arrogant, but he's still good.
Yeah, he could be the Johnny Cage of Street Fighter.
His fighting ability is no joke.
Yeah,
he can kick your ass.
I mean, but it's just that when you see him, I'm like, oh my, slipping and punching, and then everything is a joke. It just doesn't work for me. So yeah, number two, your last question, your sixth question is, if Ryu and Ken met Iron Fist and Shang-Chi, what would they think of each other? Oh man, Shang would have a lot of respect for the fighting style of Ryu and Ken. Definitely. He would probably actually want to train with Master Goken. They would really respect Danny's chi, how he's able to form his chi into that powerful attack. Yeah. And I would think if Danny was in the Street Fighter world, there would be a lot of people after the Iron Fist. The power of the Iron Fist. Just to have it. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff there. Let's move on. Let me see if there's any more questions here on the channel. Sorry guys. Alright, let's see what we got here. Alright. Yo, Rodney, what's up, dude? Yeah, Rodney here. Okay, no question. Let me see. Alright, let me see what else we got here before I move back to the... Damn it. I hate this dragging the questions. Alright. It's all about Street. As long as it has something to do with Street Fighter, I'll answer it. Let me see. Black Doggy Claw, you say, you think the Saints from Saint Seiya would fix within Street Fighter? Man, that's hard. I don't know. I don't think so, Black Doggy, because they're powerful. They're like godlike powerful in terms of like they have the power of the Zodiac, and that's that. I mean, maybe. I say maybe. I'll put it like that. How about that? How's that? Omnitron, you say, do you think Ashura versus Ryu fight was over the top, or actually what Ryu can do? I never downloaded that yet. I still have to download the Ryu and stuff, so I have not. I can't really answer that, Omnitron. I wish I could, but I can't. Because I know Evil Ryu and Akuma was in Ashura's Wrath. You know, they were downloadable stories. I need to download those. I still haven't downloaded those, guys. So Rodney, what's up, Rodney? Happy 4th of July. What up, kid? How are you doing? At actual game skills wise, I'm an average player. Oh, okay. Actual gaming in Street Fighter, I would say I'm good. Never say I'm great. I can match up. I'm very adaptable. I can match up with pretty much anybody I play against. But I don't. Their characters I can play with. I play that are in my forte that I play with in my book that I know that these are characters I'm gonna play with. But there's some characters I'm not gonna play with. Like I'm not really good with Zangief. I got a cousin that is extremely good with that character. I'm not. I will play through the story, his game to see his ending, but I'm good. Not great, not the best. I never. And you know, but I'm good. I'm adaptable, but I'm not in the point of like I love playing against people online in fighting games because that tests me. And I can tell who's good and who's not. That just kind of shows how much I play online in fighting games. I remember, like I said, I played Street Fighter one time, and I beat this person like that, and I didn't know until later on it was a kid playing me, and I kind of made him cry, and I felt kind of bad, you know. And I heard him, and he's just like, yeah, and then he started crying, and I was like, oh my god. So I'm good, but I would say I'm nowhere near anybody from freaking Japan. Uh-uh. Anytime I play online, Rodney, and I'm facing somebody from Japan, I get maybe one hit. Maybe their gouge goes down halfway, and I get obliterated. That's why that if you watch the Street Fighter Assassin's Fist series and Ken asks Ryu, damn, why are you so good at this game? And he's like, I'm Japanese. We made the damn thing. And it's like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Because that's how I look at it. It's like, yeah, they're just that's the way they are. Um, yeah. All right. So let's move on. Okay, Big Planet A. Abdul. Hey, what's up, Abdul? How you doing? Hey, Chris, how you doing? How are you and your family? Well, how's the family? Well, Malcolm's right there. That's my cousin, and yeah, so we're doing fine. Um, anyway, the question you asked me, you say, do you think Balrog and Dudley should get a proper heavyweight fight? If so, who who should it be? Just as hype as the Mayweather Pac. Dudley and Balrog should have a fight because it'd be more of a brawling style and a finesse style.
It would be the age-old saying in boxing, the how do they play this?
Clash of the
No, basically the boxer
yeah,
versus the
Pulitzer.
huh?
Pulitzer.
Oh,
That's who.
not
Well, that's who Dudley. He's more of a Pulitzer
but
boxer.
he would be considered the boxer.
Yeah, and the brawler. But yeah. Other than that, I was glad. That's why I'm glad that they're rivals. Because I was like, when they put Dudley back in the game, I was like, please tell me they have him and Balrog have a rivalry, and I was glad to see they do. As for somebody to be like the hype up, like to hype it up, I would have to. I don't know about that one, but I think it would be kind of cool. Uh, do you like the Capri? I've answered that already. What do you think about? Do you think that Capcom? Uh, do you think that Capcom should have a Street Fighter 3 animated movie made? Yeah, I would love to see that an anime movie based off the Street Fighter 3 world. That'd be kind of interesting to see the older Ryu and the older Ken, and all the new generation. That'd be kind of cool. And glad now we're getting some more Street Fighter 3 stuff. That's good. If the makers of the independent Street Fighter series was to make an adapt big budget Street Fighter movie to the big screen, do you think it would do well? Yes, absolutely. Um, if Christian Howard and Danny Azar Joey Azar, I think Danny or Joey. If I'm thinking is, well, Mr. Azar. If they were to get the big budget to do a real, yeah, it would. Because if they could do that with the budget they had on that on a web series with that kind of passion, then I think they could do it with a full big budget, definitely, and blow anything what Hollywood did out of the water once again, and basically just be like suck it to Hollywood. All right. Uh, 5. What was your favorite fight scene in the Street Fighter 2 animated movie? Oh, good question. There actually there's a couple. Um, the first one is Ryu versus Fei Long because I like that fight. That fight was really funny. I love it because Ryu he gets put into that out of I guess necessity. They said that he said something bad or something, and then they just threw him in there, and the fighter grabs Ryu by the and just starts yaking, and then Ryu just headbutts guy, breaks his nose, and it's over. Fei Long comes in and is like, not bad, or was it just luck? And he's like, okay, how about you take on a fighter like me? And Ryu's like, look, I'm just passing through. Like, I'm not trying to pick a fight. And what happened? Fei Long learned the hard way. Like, got his arm broke, his leg. Ryu really like dislocated his arm. It was like, ooh. I was like, whoa. It's just showing the style that Ryu and Ken know is very dangerous, and there's so many ways to put down somebody, but you never see Ryu really do that. So it was kind of showcased really well. Then of course the fight between Chun-Li and Vega is always epic, and just showing like you don't fuck with the strongest woman in the world. You think you may have her, and you don't, because it looked like Vega was gonna finish her off, or we saw that fight, and Chun-Li she's really getting tired from just loss of blood, and you just see her just like shake it off and just lightning kicked his ass through her wall and kicked him right there, and it was it.
That fight was also a good showcase.
Yeah.
A good showcase of how narcissistic
Yeah.
and sadistic Vega.
Yeah,
He suffered narcissistic rage when his face got.
He's narcissistic. You saw when Chun-Li did the whole face burn. She was just like, oh, my face, you bitch! I'll make you suffer. It's like, whoa. Like, okay, and he liked blood. He was like, yeah, my hobby is to skin the rabbits out high, especially cute little bunnies like you. I'm like, yo, this guy's getting off on blood. I was like, why don't you just rape the girl? If all that it's like, and he was licking the blood too. I'm like, ugh. And then of course, Guile gets there all late, and it's like, okay, so it's like, yeah, Guile, but yeah. The other fight I would have to say would have to be the Ken and Ryu fight with Bison. I love that fight. You just see Ken and Ryu showcase why they are such a good pair. He's good. Then there, the other fights in between that, like the Dalsum and E Honda fight was kind of interesting because kind of Dalsum started cheating. It's like, oh, come on, Dalsum, and then the Sagat, no, not the Sagat. The Balrog and E Honda fight was okay. DJ had a fight scene where he was just kicking guys out of his, I guess, his record store because he was playing his music too loud, and they were just like, he's like, if you guys don't like how I play my music, okay, sorry, sorry asses out of here. And he's making all these funny faces. He's like, and the I was expecting more from the Bison and uh, Guile fight. That one really like I was a little disappointed in that. So thanks for the questions, Abdul. Let's move on to more of the questions. All right. We have my friend Jacob Harper. Hey, Jacob. How you doing? Hey, Chris. Got some questions. What are your thoughts on Jirai? Saw her, and she quickly caught my eye. Real quick. She is one of those overnight sensations. She is the first Korean fighter in Street Fighter. That's a plus. And she is the first practitioner of the martial art that I trained in, Taekwondo. So that nobody else in Street Fighter trains in Taekwondo but her. And she is amazing. But she's crazy. Her character is just epic, like, and eerie at the same time. And this is a girl who can take on Chun-Li and Cammy at the same time. And right there, that just says, okay, this girl is pretty badass. This girl is pretty badass if she can take on both Chun-Li and Cammy at the same time. She's just great. I love her, Jacob. I love her a lot. Overnight sensation, and you can see fans love her too. I mean, I love looking at all the different cosplays of her too. Like women that do the cosplay of her. I'm like, yeah. But if I was somebody, oh god, what else? You have to see the Morgan Freeman video too. So yeah. Jacob, you asked me, do you like Street Fighter 3? Here we go. Yes. Let me take a last bite of my hot dog here. See the fireworks outside my house, guys. Jacob, I like Street Fighter 3. I don't understand. I have an understanding of why a lot of Street Fighter fans like myself don't like Street Fighter 3. One, there are many people that have said, well, I don't like it because there's a new engine. I didn't like the new engine. I don't like the abundance of new characters. And sometimes I can understand that. I can understand that because yes, Street Fighter 3 did have an abundance of new characters. There were a lot of new characters, but then if the thing said Street Fighter 3 new generation, you kind of should have expected that.
But maybe it's the case of they knew that, they just didn't go fond of them.
But
might seem with some people some people are predicting for Mortal Kombat X.
Yeah, with Mortal Kombat X.
But people are predicting people are not gonna go.
M80
are gonna go fond of these new characters.
Yeah, I can understand where some people, because we're starting to hear a lot of people we're starting to see a couple. I've been reading from different gaming sites that Even though a lot of people, a lot of the new characters that we saw in Mortal Kombat X are being well received, but there is some fear that it's going to be more of new characters than old. But then it's like,
The new characters might not get old.
and not get over as well. That's the other one. But then it's like, we most of the other characters are dead. But if Ermac, we saw a new version what Ermac is going to look like, and he looks scarecrowish, badass though. But then there's characters from other Mortal Kombat we should see. But I like Street Fighter 3. I always thought it was cool. It showcased an older Ken, older Ryu. They've gotten stronger. And no, well, the first one didn't. Then when they went to Third Strike, another M82 at the same time. Yeah, it caused an alarm. Actually shook my room a little bit. Felt that one. Felt the floor shake. Actually, anyway, guys. Besides that, yeah, Street Fighter 3. I enjoyed the new characters, Ellen, and Yun and Yang, and Aline, and Oro. Who is over 100 years old, and he's like this badass fighter. He fights with one arm for a reason, because he feels if he fights with both arms, he'll kill people. So it makes you wonder, like, how good is this guy? And then with Street,
he basically willfully, he willfully.
How's that saying? Willfully puts a handicap on himself, right? Yeah. He willfully puts a handicap on himself. Like, handicaps himself. Like,
give a fair fight.
He said there's only one guy that he feels that will probably be able to match him with his hands, with both hands. And you guys should already know who that is. I don't have to say it. But and of course, then we got to see the next practitioner of the Shotokan style that Ryu and Ken practicing, and that was Sean, the Black Brazilian. And while Sakura's more like Ryu, Sean is more attached to Ken. And Sean wants to be more like Ken. And he also wants Ken to train him. But then when I look at Sean, I'm like, if Master Goken trained you, how come you can't do the fireballs and things like that, and the Shoryuken? I would assume those are like the standard issue techniques you're gonna learn under Master Goken. The Shoryuken, Dragon Punch, the Tatsu Senpuken, the Hurricane Kick, and the Hadouken, the fireball. Only thing Sean can do is the Hadou burst, which looks like it's going to be a Hadouken, but it's like a fireball that just bursts you back, like an impact. It's like a concussion blast. It just, and you go rolling back. But I like Sean. I think he's cool. He's big into basketball. He likes basketball. He's Brazilian. He's Black Brazilian. And he wants to be more like Ken. He likes Ken. But Ken won't train him until Sean can beat Ryu. Which kind of messed up. And it's like, that ain't gonna happen. But it's funny. It's like Ken's training his little son Mel, but ain't training his son. It's like, yeah, it's so funny. And it's so funny. It's like you see Sean trying to fight Ryu, and he's just getting, you just see him falling back, and Ryu's just like, he's just like, he even looks at Ken as like, Ken, this is really unfair. Like, just train the boy. Like, it's funny. So yeah, and answer your fourth question, Jacob. You asked me about Sean. I like Sean. Yeah, I do like Sean. Jacob, you asked me, how much did you enjoy Assassin's Fist, bro? I loved it. I loved it very much. It brought a tear to my another M80 goes on. Making my room shake, guys. If you could only feel my room shake, you can actually feel it on your foot. That's how powerful that M80 is. You remember the M80s? The little stick of dynamite? That's pretty much what it is. I like. I thought Assassin's Fist that brought me to tears. I watched the whole series Saturday morning after when Assassin's Fist came out May 28th on Machinima on YouTube. I watched the next morning. I watched all 12 episodes, and that broke me down. I was crying tears of joy because they just pulled that off so well. And then it just made me just like look, almost want to just say to Hollywood, like, you couldn't do that. You couldn't do what they did. But then I'm just like, you know what? Then I look at it, and then I just started saying, suck it, Hollywood. And then I also started to look at maybe other fighting game genres need to do what they did. It worked for Mortal Kombat. It works now for Street Fighter. Tekken, maybe, should do it. Fatal Fury, all the others, they should do it that way. Because Hollywood's just going to fuck up their stuff, which we've seen already. Your next question, Jacob, is it true Dan is a FU to SNK's character Rio? Yeah, that is. Rio Suzuki or Suzuki, yeah, from The Art of Fighting and King of Fighters, that character who looks like Ken just with an orange gi. Yeah, that's a big FU to Dan. Is a big FU to him. It's complicated, but SNK and SNK Playmore and Capcom have a pretty good relationship now. They're not like that anymore. Your next question. Yeah, there's no big real ill will after. What's something you would want to see in the future of Street Fighter games? Good question. Here's some future. I want to see older. I want to see Ryu and Ken older to the point where they are so powerful or so good now. They have disciples. They finally have disciples. I want to see Ryu take up take up the position of being what Master Goken was to he and Ryu. So I want to see disciples of Ryu. I want to see Ryu like showcase that this man finally did it. He finally achieved what he was looking for, and now he's just gonna pour his knowledge into the future generation. I want to see Sakura older and showcasing like I'm truly now the first disciple of Ryu. Really now I'm truly that disciple where she is. I designed one time. I had a design in my head of showcasing what Sakura would look like in like her older self. She would look like a fitness model now, because she says she does 200 push-ups a day, 300 crunches a day, and that's just for starters. And I would see her really kind of cut up with the bandana, white bandana. Would have the kind of like her. She would have like the gloves, half a gi. I would say I designed her where she had half a gi, like Ryu, and the top of her was a little bit like Cammy, but red. So it'd be white and red. So she would have white bandana, white bottom gi, red, and her gloves would be what color did I say her gloves would be? I think I said her gloves would be white as well, and she would be pretty cut up now, like a fitness model, and she'd be damn near very strong too. She would take the role now of, in a sense, Ryu. I want to see Mel, Ken's son, grown up, and showcase what Daddy taught him. Those are some of the things in a future series of Street Fighter I want to see. Like, it's kind of the future of them. Like, some of the characters now, they've gotten older now, and they passed on their teaching on to somebody else. Maybe, hell, I want to see, hell, maybe finally. There's a saying that there's a if you beat Rose, no, not Rose. If you beat Chung Li with if you are Chung Li and you beat if Rose is your opponent and you beat her, Chung Li says, "So you're a psychic, huh? You're a fortune. Can you tell me when I'll meet Mr. Right?" My Mr. Right for Chung Li is Ryu. That's my so a son of what if a child of Ryu and Chung Li? Wouldn't that be badass? Man, that'd be so cool. So yeah, Jacob, those are some things I would want to see. Um, let's see. Lee. No, wait. Hold on. I'm gonna make sure I got all the day two. No, I don't. Okay, now once again, Thor Odinson. Hi, Thor. Um, I I'm a big fan. We had a couple of incidents outside here. I mean, we had a couple of thunderstorms and I've always said like yeah, lightning storms.
So now Thor called hurricanes?
No, not hurricanes.
So that's gonna be more storms?
But that's he can do that. He can control weather. But yeah,
He calls hurricane August.
but anyway, Thor Odinson acts as me. What's your thoughts on Yun and Yang? I like them. I think they're cool. Um, the twins. One's a skateboarder. The other one's a rollerblader. The rumor is they are the grandsons of Gen. Yeah. There's a rumor that they're the grandsons of Gen, or they're the sons of the original Street Fighter character. One of the original Street Fighter characters, Lee, I believe. But they're cool. They're really cool. Uh, what other country or continent should more characters be from in Street Fighter? Ooh, good question. Let's go down the list. We got a couple from America, a few from South America. We have technically two from Mexico, because T-Hawk's from Mexico, but he's and of course El Fuego. It's super dynamic cooking time. Who else we got? Africa only has one, so there's one. I would love to see another couple more characters from Africa. Doesn't matter which country. Well, Dawson's from India. Maybe another native Indian. We got two from Thailand, Aden and Sagat. So maybe another Thai fighter. Maybe a female. Yeah, female Thai fighter. We got one from Hong Kong. No, or two. No, one. Well, I would say China has a couple. But Hong Kong definitely is Fei Long. Couple from Japan. England has a couple. One from Italy. Hungary. We got the new guy, Hawken, who is he's probably one of the funniest characters. I mean, that dude is so funny to me. It's like he covers himself in baby oil. And it shines so bright, like it glistens. And one of his moves is you literally slip on him because he's so oily, and he puts you on a head scissors, and it looks like he's farting you out. And he's like, "Here I go," and he squeezes, and then you go flying out, shooting out of his ass. It's so funny. I think that. So. Okay. How about okay, here's a fighter. Here's some. Definitely, I would want another Russian. Another Russian, but not a stereotypical Russian character. Like like I don't want and if it's a female, it'd be kind of cool if she's a practitioner of sambo or something like that. But I don't want I mean, sure, we got Zangief, and he's not really stereotypically like a stereotypical Russian. You know, he's a wrestler, and he wrestles bears. I mean, who the hell says they wrestle full-grown Kodiak grizzly bears? And he's got the scars to prove it. Oh boy. But stupid match. Sorry. But I would want another character there. I don't even know where Crimson Viper's from, and I'm not a big fan of hers either. How about a character from an Aussie? Cool, yeah, an Aussie. I like an Aussie fighter. Maybe a Greek. Who? Abel's French. He's French. You got a French character who knows he knows mixed martial arts, but they say Savat. They say he knows Savat, so a Filipino would be cool. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Another let me see another country.
I'm from Sweden.
I don't. Yeah, could we have a Swedish character? That'd be. Yeah, a Swedish character. There's a couple of characters I would like. A Canadian. There ain't no Canadian in Street Fighter. There we go. There's no Canadian.
I know something. Neither that we didn't do with nationality.
Yeah.
How about we see an MMA based fighter?
Yeah, I think Abel is that.
Yeah, but he don't really ground drop and.
Well, you talking about like somebody like in there? Yeah.
Dead or alive.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Italy. There's Italy. We got Italy. We have Spain.
African.
We got Africa. Make more from Africa. New Zealand would be cool. A Kiwi would be cool. Maybe we got German. Hugo's German. Big Hugo is German. There's so many countries, there's so many countries I would want to see. Yeah, but that's cool. Your next question, Thor, is should there be more weaponized fighters in Street Fighter? For example, Rolento. Rolento is a weaponized fighter. Soden is a weaponized fighter. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing some more characters that uses weapons.
If you kind of, if you technical,
yeah.
Cody's kind of become one thing. He throws rocks.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm about to get on Cody in a minute. Give my piece on Cody. But
current.
He's exactly.
His current position is the least favorite.
Yeah, okay. Let me excuse me, Mr. Odinson, and I don't mean, please don't shock me with thunder and lightning. I have a big Vega has a weapon, it's that claw, that's a weapon. And you can lose it and use it. But my problem I have a problem with Cody. What Capcom has done to Cody now. When Art of Fighting came out, Cody was the first character I played with. He was like your typical, straight, bare knuckle boxer, street fighter character. I liked Guy too, he's a ninja. I'm a ninja mark. I'm a ninja nerd. So, but it was always those two. I did not hate Hagar. It's just that for me it was just like I know what I was gonna get with Hagar. I was like, okay, big guy, gonna be a lot of wrestling techniques and things like that. But with Guy, it was just like, what ninja wears sneakers and stuff like that. But with Cody, when Cody came back in Street Fighter Alpha, when they brought him in Street Fighter Alpha 3, I'm looking at this and I'm like, why is Cody wearing a jumpsuit like he's been in jail? Then you read what's going on with Cody's somewhere killed somebody, killed the man, bare hands. He got sent to prison for it. Did his time. Okay. So why the hell is he still wearing that? And then they showcase like prison really changed this guy's attitude. He don't care. He fights dirty now. He's either pick up a knife, throw some dirt in your eyes and rocks. And I'm like, this is not the Cody I like. I think so. I don't care. It's stupid. It's like, where are you getting this stuff from? So I don't like it. I never did like that. And you always got guy chasing him. It's like, what is your problem now? His best friend, one of his good friends. So, excuse me. So yeah, you know, it's like, I don't care. Your next question. Yes, music was badass, but yeah. So yeah, other than that, Miss Thor, I do think, yeah, that we should see some more weaponized fighters. I mean, like I said, Vega's there, Rolento, Soden, Ibuki kinda, because she does those shurikens. But it's not in. But I think you're talking about the weapons are literally in their hand. They're using them. So yeah. And Eagle definitely is there, which I do think deserves to be back in the game. Birdie, the big British guy, he uses that chain that around his arms. He uses that as weapons. It's there. But yeah, I think we should see some more. And yeah, even Crimson Viper. Those are weapons. She uses gadget weapons. The gloves, those are enhancements. The gloves, the boots, those are all. And you see why everybody dogs her. Well, except for Ryu, but everybody else dogs her. The worst in game, they dog her about that. The worst to dog her is Akuma. My God, Akuma is like you thought you're like he is. It's just serious. Like, my God. Your next question: would Ryu and Chun-Li make a great couple? Yeah, they would. The couple that would never be. Man, could you imagine what their children would be like? Man, if they ever had kids, yeah, I think Ryu and Chun-Li would be great together. They really would. So we move on to the next question. Oh, let me go back to the site to see if there's any more. Let's see. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let me finish up the questions that were on the announcement vid. Then I'll come back to your guys' question. So so I won't have to keep flipping back from tab to tab. Okay, next couple of questions. Next question come from Lee Mitchison, my friend Lee. Hey, Lee. He says, "Hey Chris, how you doing, bro?" Questions. Street Fighter V. What would you like to see done with it? I kind of answered that already. Talked all about Street Fighter V. Ryu and Ken meeting Liu Kang and Kung Lao. What would they think of each other?
I would like to think it's not. Because me personally, I'm not too big of a fan of now they've taken. Seems like Kung Lao's personality from Shaolin Monk has become his permanent personality, which is this arrogant, brash.
Yeah.
I'm not, and led to his death, to be honest.
Yeah, led to his death. But
if it was the Kung Lao before I think it'd be all great.
Yeah, I think it'd be all. I want to say it'd be all great, but it depends on what Kung Lao you're talking about, because now Kung Lao's gotten really arrogant, and Ken is not as arrogant as he used to be. He's matured a lot now. He's not as arrogant as he used to be. I mean, sure, if you look at Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 4 is not really a true sequel. It's actually a interquequel, as they call it. It takes place in between 2 and 3. But yeah, you know, but if it's the before, I think there will be a mutual respect. I think each character, both each duo would look at each other like, wow, like who taught you that? Like, you know, things like that. So I don't necessarily think it'd be like, oh, hey, you look pretty good, let's fight. Nah. Yeah, I'll kill you. What are your thoughts on Sagat? I like Sagat. I'm glad to see that he's another character that has huge character development now. This was a guy who only sought one thing, Ryu. It was always about Ryu, like getting not just fighting and beating him and gaining his reputation back of being the king of Muay Thai, because it was like almost like when Ryu beat him, Ryu was like almost like a rookie. Now Sagat is he's got respect for Ryu. He's not into that point of like Ryu is my enemy. No. Once again, he's also broken away from Shadow Law. He's not with Bison anymore. The only people still with Shadow Law, Bison, who are Bison's lackeys, are Balrog and Vega. His designated hitters. That's it. Sagat no longer with Shadow Law. So, but I like Sagat. You know, he's. I mean, who would say this? I mean, imagine this: a 7'4" mountain of muscle Thai man. First of all, he's Thai, and let's be honest. Asian men don't get very tall. There's been some occasion that have suffered giantism, right?
Yeah, but I don't think y'all meant something.
Yeah, but there a lot of Asian men. The average Asian man is what, maybe 5'10", 5'11", maybe shorter. I'm short. I'm a short guy myself, but Sagat, 7'4", and he's over 300 something pounds, and most of that is goddamn muscle. Plus, he knows Muay Thai. That's this, knees, your whole body.
Do you see the size of his knees?
You see the size of his knees, his legs. It's like just one kick would probably. The funniest thing was if you watched the Street Fighter V animated series, where we saw the story of Sagat, which was a really good way of integrating him into the story that he was a Muay Thai fighter, and Shadow Law wanted him to take a dive. They didn't, and they gave him he got caught with drugs or steroids or something like that, and he got sent away. But before that fight, in his fight, his opponent was fucking scared. Even a defensive block. It was just like, man, this guy is just. Sagat is just a cool character. But he does. I mean, how would you feel if you're on a bus or walking down the street and you come or a train and you're holding on, you know, just enjoying the ride, and you may bump into this guy. Oh, I'm sorry, didn't mean it. You look up and it's this guy who looks down at you, but he smiles like it's okay. You still be kind of scared. He's got an eye patch on. He got no pigment in his eye, and he's like, "Oh, it's all right." I have no idea why he don't have no pigment, but I guess just mostly give him more of that. This is like, yeah, I'm badass. You know, if the scar or the eye patch don't do it for anybody, I don't know what would. But Sagat's cool. He's a good character. 4, Lee, you say, if you had a choice to pick between these 3 martial artists, Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee, and Jet Li, who would you love to see as a special guest in Street Fighter game? Bruce Lee. That's no question about it.
He's gonna be a special character. He's a special character in EA Sports MMA.
Yeah, in the next UFC game.
Which is out now.
Yeah. Bruce Lee, because They don't say it by name, but Fei Long does say that he mimicked his stuff. He even says there will never be. Fei Long says there will never be anybody like the king and his son. So they're talking. He was talking about Bruce Lee and his son. But I would love to see that where Fei Long just like maybe there's a cut scene where Fei Long and he's like, "It's you." Now, oh my, it was like, he's just like, "Sir, please, it would be my honor and privilege to fight you." Just like I could see that. Um, that definitely. Number 5, Lee, you say, have you created your own Street Fighter characters? No, I haven't. Not really. I haven't. I've just designed older versions of their Street Fighter characters now. Like I said, Sakura. I've designed her an older version of her, what she would look like, how she would look, things like that. Last question you asked me, your 6th one. Which fighting style would you like to see in Street Fighter that hasn't been used? Another fighting style I would like to see in Street Fighter is Kali. It's a Filipino martial art, deadly close quarters combat martial art that their armed forces actually use. The fighting style you saw in the Bourne movies, that's Kali. That's Kali. That's that close quarters fighting style that you saw Jason Bourne using. That's Kali. I would love to see somebody using that. So hence again, having a Filipino in the game would be great. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. Those would definitely be some character. That's one fighting style right there. I would love to see Kali. That'd be so cool. All right, we move on to. Oh, I'm forgetting this question. I missed these questions. Burnouter 7 asks me, what do you think would happen if Ryu and Ken and Sakura met the Turtles and Terry Bogard? Uh, oh, that'd be interesting. Well, especially with Terry and them. But I think it would be interesting. I don't know what Sakura would think of talking turtles. She'd be just like, Ryu-san, those are talking turtles, like stuff like that. Burnout Yosu, do you think Capcom should do a fighting game that stars most of their characters? They did a little bit. It was a fighting game called Fighting Game. What was that? That game for? Yeah, what was that one called? What was that? Capcom Fighting. What was that game you got me for Christmas? One time. They kind of did it that way, but
Capcom Fighting Evolution.
Capcom Fighting Evolution. But I'm thinking what Burnout is meaning, like all, like, yeah, that I would like to see that. I think they should. You mean something like, well, not too much like Super Smash Bros., but not in that degree, but just a fighting game with all their characters. Yeah, I'd do that. How come Capcom is making another Street Fighter 4 game for the instead of a new one? It's not a new one. This was actually scheduled already, but it is what it is. They just milk it. It is what it is. I can't. What is your three favorite Street Fighter characters? Chun-Li, Cammy, Um, and um, tied for three is actually between Jurai and Sakura. Jurai, say what you want about, oh, but she just came. She got popular really fast, and she made such an impact. You can add her in that top list. Jurai is a great character, but her and Sakura make. But if I was doing a top five, then you would get more like. Then would come uh, uh, Makoto and uh, Ibuki. Those are my five right there. Uh, what do you think of some of the pairings, Spider-Man and Chun-Li together? I have that picture where Chun-Li is giving Spider-Man a kiss. Uh, that Parker Luck, that's all right. It's fun. It is what it is. Um, what did you think of Street Fighter Cross Tekken? Um, what I saw, I thought it was an interesting try, but I am interested in seeing what they're going to do with the next one. How are the Street Fighter characters are going to integrate into the Tekken world? That's where it's really going to play out. See? But thanks, Bernardo, for the questions. I move on to the last set of questions that were given to me on the announcement vid. And believe it or not, once again, guys, I'm not joking about this. Matter of fact, I'll even show you guys to show you that I'm not joking about these questions. Or these questions are coming from the people. Next one comes from Strider. Here to you. I'm not joking. As you can see that, look, there's Thor Odin, son. I'm not joking. Uh, look, okay. Thor, I was joking about Rock Howard. Who's that? Rock Howard. I'm not joking. I wasn't joking about these questions. Just to make sure I'm not making these questions up, there's the questions. Strider, here are you. So, next question says, Strider, here are you. Hello, sir. I'm a big fan of yours as well. I'm a big fan of you. I love your stuff. And he says, I admire your passion. Hey, thanks. I see the words honor, loyalty, respect on your arm. Oh, he must have been talking about the announcement vid because my arms are covered now. You can't see my tats.
Right. You can see mine.
So you can't see my tats, but my first question. Oh, you made it. My first question is, hey, so I have oh, I forgot to make this Q&A is brought to you by S'mores.
You want some more?
Anyway, yes. So Strider, Mr. Hiryu, because I don't know your real name. We don't know your real name. You never will. I really don't. I think your name Hiryu just it's cool. First off, your first question: who do you like? Who who's your favorite ninja in Street Fighter? Okay. That would probably have to be kind of close between. It's kind of a tie because, like I said, we haven't seen Gekkai since the first one, Mr. Hiryu, and that was way back in 1987. And we haven't seen that character ever again. The ninjas now are Ibuki and Guy. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So I would have to say I would go a little bit with Guy. I like Guy. Guys just, I mean, you've probably seen it, Mr. Hiryu. I mean, the way I love his stance. He just breathes really slow, and then everything just gets real fast. So, like, imagine you see it and you fight him next year, you get thrown on the ground because he just walks up to you.
Yeah, man. This Alpha 3 team went perfect.
Yeah,
with that.
yeah.
When he dropped one,
I mean, you got to remember, Guy, Cody, Soden, Rolento, all those guys. They come from Poison and Hugo. Thank you, Hugo. They come from Final Fight, and they were transitioned into the Final Fight world is part of the Street Fighter world, so it was no problem. But yeah, I would say Guy is my favorite ninja. I like Ibuki. She's a young Kunoichi, but she's good. She's good. Your next question is, do you think Batsu could make the jump into Street Fighter? Absolutely. Any character can graduate from any. Well, not everybody. I don't see all of them. I don't see what's the swimmer. Yeah, a lot of. I'm not all of the school. I think there are a couple of them like Daigo. He can transition. Batsu, Hirio, Shoma. I think it worked. Edge. What was the gym teacher? Damn it, I'm forgetting his name. But yeah, I think a lot of people from rival schools could jump. Boma? The Americans?
No. Got the spiky hair. Daigo?
I said Daigo.
Oh, yeah.
I said Daigo. Yeah, a lot of them, they could make the jump to Street Fighter world because it isn't. Rival Schools isn't Street Fighter world. I mean,
but Sakura was in the first one.
Yeah, Sakura was in the first one, and you showcased. I guess that's what they were showing. Like, this is Sakura's school. This is the school she goes to. This is what she goes to. She goes to either Taiyo High School or one of them, so that's why she knows everybody. So yeah, I think they could work. Some of them could, not all of them. I don't see Natsu really working. You know, she's a volleyball player. But Shoma definitely.
Why? He got fat?
Yeah, rat. And,
he got that anger problem?
Yeah, and that anger issue, yeah, he'll probably work. I don't see Roberto really. Roy, I definitely can see. Oh, yeah, the photographer, yeah, God.
No, Sarah Brooker might work.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Oh, and the nurse.
Yeah, she was dangerous, yeah, because she just shows how much she knows on a human body. But yeah, a couple, yeah, they could work. But Batsu definitely. What you're asking, Mr. Hiryu, is if Batsu can work. Definitely. I don't care which one it is, regular or burning Batsu. They could work. Let's see. Do you read the Street Fighter comics from Udon? Yes, I do. I collected those good comics. The last one to come out they did was the Akuma Origin. I have it. I recommend. I recommend you buying that. If you're a Street Fighter fan, buying it. If you want me to show it off, I'll show it. Mom, can you get it for me? It's right over there. I don't care. It's just a book. Alright. It's right there underneath. The latest Udon comic. It's a graphic novel, but is this bad boy right here. Street Fighter Origins Akuma, which tells kind of the origin of Akuma. Good stuff. But yes, Mr. Hiryu, I'll read that. The next question you asked is, would you play a Street Fighter versus Fatal Fury game? Absolutely. Now we're talking. There's a series. There's two genres that are like peanut butter and jelly, ham and burger. You know, they're made to be together. They could work. I could see that working very well together. Street Fighter and Fatal Fury. Absolutely. Next question asks do you feel the same? Do you feel the same as I do that Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat is not a good mixture? Yes, I do. I don't feel they're a good mixture. Not at all. So I do agree with you, Mr. Hear You. And number 6, how long would it take for me to take down Bison? Oh. Well, you're a highly classed assassin. You're the best of the Striders out of that league. So you killing Bison, I don't think it'd take too long. I've seen you take down badder guys than Bison. You could do it. So I give you tops 3 minutes, maybe even shorter. Okay. I shall always be watching, Chris. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that. Next up comes from Lawrence Black. I'm not joking about that. And this guy, I just made sure I wasn't crazy when I looked at this because this guy's from actually Salem, Massachusetts. So I was like, okay, so you're from where the witches used to be, witch trials and everything happened. And you have 2 questions for me. Do you want to see, what do you want to see the future of Street Fighter go further? Well, I answered that already, Mr. Black. And does Street Fighter need better final bosses? Because to me, Seth and the rest fucking suck. Goodbye, Christopher. Okay. Yeah, I do think they do need better final bosses. Someone that will stand out, that is not a cheap knockoff of somebody. And Seth is just a knockoff. I don't like him at all. So yeah, I do see that. So those are all the questions that were given to me on the announcement vid. Now I'm going back. Back to the vid. The questions that we have on the vid. Okay, here we go. All right. So who do we still got around? Who's still with me? Okay, Omnitron. I always appreciate Omnitron. I always appreciate you being around. Glad to see Rodney is still here. I don't get to talk to Rodney as much, but anytime I always show the love. Thanks. Lost Senpai is here. Hey Senpai. Happy 4th of July as well to you. Let me see. Make sure I got everybody. Let me see. What was the question? If you're talking Rodney, who's my main fighters, all of Ken, Ryu, Sakura, Chun-Li, Akuma, Master Goken, Guy, those are like guys I play online with. Those are the people I play with. Sakura, those are the people. Familiar with. And I know that I trust, and I play with people online whose moveset I know by heart. I don't have to, like, okay, how to get this out. Like, I know how to get the Raging Demon out.
When you go online, you never play with a guy you never play with.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Every time you play with this guy, it's online. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah. I know the Raging Demon by heart. I don't even have to look at my control when I'm doing it. You know, or press start and look. I just do, and it comes up. It's like riding a bike to me now. Once I learned how to do that move, it's like riding a bike. I remember my cousin, he did it first, and I was like, how do you do that? And he would just laugh at me with that just laugh at me, and I was like, yo, how you do that? Like, and then I finally realized, okay, I'm gonna start looking for how to do this thing, and I started practicing, and I started getting it, and I feel like how to get it. So Black Doe, you said, if Street Fighter had a character creation, what would be your character's name? Ryoma Musashi. That would be That would be his name. I got other names, but that's one of them that came to my mind. That was from Black Doggy Claw. Sean, you say, do you think we'll ever see a beat 'em up action game from the Street Fighter series, kind of like Devil May Cry or Arkham Asylum and things like? Oh, you talking about like a side scroll or a third person? There's only a few characters I could see that working for, and they tried that before. Capcom had a game that put it in the refrigerator now. Capcom had a game for the Dreamcast that had Mega Man, Cammy, and people like that. Cammy is one of those characters that I can see a game like that for, of showcasing what she does when she's not in the tournaments, like her Black Ops work. You know, so yeah, Cammy's one of them. Definitely see it. Maybe Chun-Li too. Guile, I could see. Maybe another. I would want to see another Final Fight, definitely, but a better one. That doesn't have to be dark and like that last one they did with Streetwise. Final Fight Streetwise, which was stupid. But yeah, a third person game, like in terms of like you're talking like you said, Devil May Cry, Arkham Asylum, and God of War style, those type of that way. I can see that. Next question: Ryu versus Batman, no holds barred. Who wins? Ryu. No, seriously, honestly, yeah, Ryu. No holds barred. Ryu would win. We're talking Batman with no weapons. Are you talking Batman with none of the gadgets, hand to hand? Then yeah, it's Ryu. Ryu's gonna win. All right. Rodney would like to see Violent Ken. Thank you. Yes, Rodney. I would love to see who's only been in one game, and that was SNK versus Capcom Chaos.
Just Chaos.
Chaos.
The one that
The
was
Violent
made,
Ken.
The one that was made by SNK.
Yeah, Violent Ken. We first saw Violent Ken, the brainwashed Violent Ken, in the Street Fighter 2 animated movie, who was brainwashed by Bison. That's Violent Ken. I would love to see that Ken back again. Love to see that Ken. Yes, Rodney. I would love to see that Ken back in a game. You say in Ultimate Street Fighter 4, they always focus on Ryu when it comes to the Dark Hadou. Well, Violent Ken, I don't know if it's really the Dark Hadou. I think he's just brainwashed by.
The thing was in SNK versus SBC Chaos.
Yeah.
After he did one of his finishing moves, this like I don't know, like wave will come from his back and it'll be a stall.
Yeah, or like almost like he was powered on something. But if they, first of all, I don't mind Evil Ryu, but it's to me. But now, when they first started doing Evil Ryu, he just looked like Ryu with a tan. That was it. Now his dark stuff looks just eerie. He's got a freaking hole in his chest, and that's like, oh my god! And just listening to him when he talks, it's like,
he's saying stuff like, "Violence is me."
Yeah, violence is me. And it's like he doesn't give a damn anymore. It's just scary. That's just scary to me. So yeah, I would like to see Violent Ken back. It'd be cool. Is the chat updating for anybody? The chats always go slow. It always does. They still haven't fixed that stuff. A Ryu and Chun-Li Cha would be all thighs and shoulders.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because Ryu got big shoulders, and yeah, so that child is gonna be muscular, like from the that'll be funny. Laughing out loud. Oh, I see you were reading off another video from Comic. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I had another. I made an announcement about this, and people left their comments who weren't going to be able to make the live event, and they left their comments there. That's why I was telling you guys I'm not joking about what I wasn't joking about those other comments. Let's see. Let's see who else we got. Uh, newer comments. Let's see. Um, newer comments. I would probably say I can't see it. Damn it. Um, let me see. Let's see. Oh crap.